check this out. I notice that I still get triggered when I get pulled over by police officers. I'm Joy, the synergistic kinesiologist, and I help to supercharge your superhuman. So let's get back to this story. I noticed this recently, and let me give you a little bit of backstory first. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I believe, based on my experiences, that there's lots of racial profiling that happens in St. Louis, Missouri. It was just normal to me because it happened so often. I just thought that's the way it was, and it happened like that everywhere. Okay. And so it was bad when I would drive, but it was 1,000 times worse when we lived in St. Louis if my husband drove. So fast forward to now, and we live in Naples, Florida. We've been here about 14 years, and I believe in that 14 years, I've been pulled over 3 times. And the present doesn't automatically equal the past, meaning that every single time I got pulled over here in Naples, Florida, the police officers are so nice. They are so fair. I just get a warning, but lo and behold, I always start off the interaction with sarcasm or a little bit of rebellion or just being flat out mean. And so I noticed this about 3 months ago. This was the 3rd time I was pulled over, and a lady pulled me over. I'm not going to even get into that right now because I honestly, if I'm on 9 out of 10, as far as my intensity, when a male pulls me over, I'm on 10 out of 10 when a female pulls me over. I don't know why, but it just irks me. I feel like they're going double hard trying to prove a point, but that's another story. So about 3 months ago, I get pulled over, and it was a woman and police officer, and she pulls me over, and I'm talking before she could even say a word. I roll down my window and I immediately say, "Oh, this has got to be good. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. I can't wait to hear your reason for pulling me over, because I know that it's not valid. I can't wait to hear what you have to say." And she looks at me and she kind of smiled a little bit. And then she said, "Yes, I noticed that when you were turning that corner, that you didn't come to a complete stop before you turned the corner." And so it kind of cracked my face because she was right. Like, she didn't pull that out of her butt. She didn't make that up. She was right. That is in fact what happened. And I remembered it. And so I couldn't say anything. I couldn't argue with it. I couldn't justify it. So I immediately said, "Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that." And so I'm still being all extra. And she said, "So I just want to give you a warning." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And I drive off. And when I drove off, I started feeling convicted. I started feeling like, oh my, like I have a book where I talk about forgiveness and how forgiveness is a universal law. That means if you violate universal laws, you succumb to that violation. Just like if you honor universal laws, you get the benefits of honoring a universal law. So I realized in that moment that I have violated the universal law of forgiveness, and that whatever happened to me in the past, it does not determine or dictate my present or future, but I was allowing it to, because I was allowing that emotion, energy and motion, I was allowing that emotion to continue to be rebirthed, to be resurrected. I was allowing that negative energy and emotion to be resurrected over and over and over when I was in that situation again. And so I had to go and forgive the people, whoever did me wrong, all the police officers that ever pulled me over, my husband over. I had to forgive myself for harboring that resentment and anger for all those years. And I had to release it so that I can see people and not prejudge them. So I can see different careers that I interact with and not prejudge them based on something that happened in the past that I felt was a negative experience. So I'm here to tell you, you may have to do that as well. You may have to check yourself before you wreck yourself too. Did you catch that? You may have to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Evaluate when you allow yourself to continue to have these negative emotions that you are constantly resurrecting just because of something that happened in the past? Are you allowing that same energy and experience that happened to you in past relationships to be reborn into new relationships? Are you bringing that same energy? Are you expecting that person to hurt you? And so you have your defensive mechanisms up and you're ready to battle, and they didn't do anything to hurt you. That person is a new person. That's a brand new person, but you are bringing that old energy into it because you're expecting it to go a certain way based on the past. So if that is you, you have to do exactly what I had to do as it relates to the police officers, and you have to let it go. And the best way to let that energy go, because it's not just a physical interaction, it's not just an emotional interaction, but it's also, it can be turned into a spiritual interaction. It can affect you as it relates to emotionally, chemically. Do you realize that just like certain experiences can release endorphins, there's certain chemicals that are being released, that your cortisol levels are being heightened every single time that you're in stress mode or fear mode, and you're allowing these negative emotions and these negative chemicals that affect you adversely to be released into your body. So that's why I said that you are hurting you when you are violating the law of forgiveness, and you want to go back and how do you know? How do you know? How can you tell? It's easy. You can tell because you can see that your reaction to those experiences or interactions are the same as they were when they happened to you in the past. So you don't even give it a chance. You automatically make an assumption that it's going to go a certain way, and you act in accordance with that, and you fill yourself up with those same negative chemicals, that same negative energy, and you release it out onto others. And so now you're being contagious, and it's this negative toxic loop that keeps happening over and over again. So your whole day is ruined. You are blocking things that's supposed to be released to you. You are causing different things to happen to you negatively because of something that happened in the past that doesn't equal the present or future. You're making it equal it. You're making a lie become a law. For yourself. It's not a law. You're breaking a law. The universal law of forgiveness. Until next time, R3 for life.